Hello, vinyl community. This is Matt again, and I thought I'd check in with an update because it's been a couple of weeks since I've done one. I think this would be number 7. I labeled uh, the last one number 5, even though the one before that was number 5 too. So there are 2 number 5s, and we'll skip 6 and go to 7. Anyway, nothing much to report. I've got a few records. This is what's playing. The Gift by the Jam, one of my favorite bands, in the background there. I went to Doc's Records yesterday and got a couple of records, and I got something in the mail Friday, so thought I'd just report in and talk about those a little bit. First thing I thought I'd do real quick, or I say real quick, thought I'd just do a little post-mortem on Record Store Day. Already did one where I talked about everything that I bought a couple of weeks ago during Record Store Day, and just now that I've had a chance to listen to everything, mostly everything, thought I'd get back and just what I thought of what, which is going to try to do this pretty quick. I did pretty well because sometimes I get things that I think are going to be interesting and they turn out to be, listen to them once or twice and they go on the shelf and don't get pulled out too often after that, if ever. So I try to get things, I mean, obviously there's things I know, Beatles, Rolling Stones related, Pink Floyd related stuff, but I always try to find some new stuff on Record Store Day that looks interesting, and I think I did pretty well this year, by and large. So I already showed these in a earlier video, so I'm not going to pull them out and go through them too much. Latin Psychedelia, Rough Guide, really good one there. I've enjoyed that and played that several times. This is African one that I got Record Store Day, Black Friday, or at a previous Record Store Day. I don't remember the chronology of that there. Another one I got, and I've enjoyed this one a lot. Got another Miles Davis, Porgy and Bess on last Black Friday Record Store Day. This is a good one. I played this a couple of times. Actually, the first time I played this, I had just played before that this one, Sly and the Family Stone, which is also really good. So I put this on, and I'm sitting there, and I'm thinking, this is kind of funny sounding. Miles is sounding a little weird today, and well, realized that I'd left the record player on 45, so that explains that. But that's good Miles Davis stuff, and and by that I'm glad that I got quite a few of these that I've played several times in the last couple of weeks, and that are records that I think I'm going to be playing by and large quite a bit in the going forward. Another one, this is Stephen Malkmus and Friends doing Cans album, which I was, and I talked about this too, it's on green vinyl, neat packaging. It's was really impressed with that. I like that a lot. I was not expecting anything because I'm not big on cover versions usually, and like I said, Mojo and Uncut, they do the CD with every issue, and they often do somebody doing pet sounds with different people, or a Beatles album, Revolver, White Album, different people on each song, and I don't usually find those to be very good, and I was expecting the same from that, but it's really good, and I've enjoyed it. It's not doesn't replace the original album, which is great and worth picking up, but it complements it, and it's highly enjoyable. This is another one. This is Calexico live album that they did in 2 shows in Germany. I think both of these are in Germany, and this is great. This might be my favorite one of my favorites of the bunch. I only have Feast of Wire on CD before, so I was familiar with them somewhat. But they've got, I don't know how many records they've got out, but they've got quite a few. And there's one song from Feast of Wire on here that I recognize, and the rest of them are new to me. But it's a great, really good live album. And I've watched a ton of videos on VC of people talking about their record store day pickups, and I don't think I've seen anyone else who mentioned this or picked it up. So if you run across a copy of this, it's worth checking out. They're sort of slow, moody Americana, spaghetti western, folk, uh, Tejano type music. Even though they're not Hispanic, I don't think the guys in the band, but kind of movie soundtracky, spaghetti western type stuff. And I don't know that I'm doing them justice, but they are worth giving a listen to if you have not checked them out before. And that's a really good one. I've enjoyed that. What else is in here? Small Faces album. That's great stuff. Small Faces are, I don't know what else you can say about them. They're one of the great bands, and so really not a bad song on here. So obviously I've enjoyed that. I already knew I liked the Small Faces, but that's my first actual album by them, so I have been playing that quite a bit. Let's see. Girl from Uncle. Wish I would have bought something else instead of this. It's there's 2 or 3 songs. This is all instrumental stuff from the old TV show. Theme song I like, and there's 2 or 3 others on here that I like. The rest of it is very nice, but sort of boring. Played it a couple of times. I don't know. I'll give it a couple more chances, but I'm thinking, like I said before, I don't think I'll be pulling this one out too much in the future. It is nice to have, but I think probably should have got something else in its place. The Grateful Dead Rarities and Oddities, and played this a couple of times. It's enjoyed this. Haven't really played it enough to form an opinion on it yet, but I do like did enjoy it the couple of times I played it. So there's that. There's some other 45s that I got. The Husker Du thing is good, and Richard Thompson, and the Mystery 45, which was the Grateful Dead and the Dixie Cups, and all of those were pretty good stuff. So there's my recap of Record Store Day. With the exception of, I went to Doc's yesterday. I was just out running around doing errands, and I thought I'd swing in and see anything new. And he still had some Record Store Day releases around, which he actually has several copies of the Calexico thing and the White Stripes. If anybody's in the Dallas-Fort Worth area that's looking for that, he had quite a few things, but I wanted to get the introduction to Sugar Otis. I think that's a double album, and I saw it. I almost bought it. Kind of wish I would have got that instead of the Girl from Uncle thing. But then it was there later in the day when I went back on Record Store Day, and I was hoping it would be there. I was going to pick it up, but unfortunately it wasn't. But one of the things that I did want, was kind of interested in, that was not there on Record Store Day, that's a Record Store Day release, was there yesterday, and that is Charlie Poole and the Highlanders, complete Paramount and Brunswick recordings of 1929. And this is limited to 1,500 copies. Tompkins Square label. Inside is a poster, kind of a cool poster, and on the back is a write-up about the Charlie Poole and his band. It's I don't know, roots music, hillbilly music, country music, early on. If you the movie Oh Brother Where Art Thou, that type of music, if you like that, you'll like this. I don't like country music, really not at all. I mean, if you like it, that's great, but doesn't do anything for me, with very rare exceptions. There's a few things, but very little. And but I saw this on the Record Store Day list and had no idea who Charlie Poole was. Looked him up, listened to some YouTubes, read a little bit about him. listened to some of the clips on Amazon of his other CDs or albums. Thought it sounded kind of cool, and I got this, just kind of wanted it, thought it looked neat. So it was there at Doc's, and I picked it up, and I played it a couple of times. Like I said, I got it yesterday. So it's fun, I enjoy it, and it's, like I said, I'm thinking, Oh Brother Where Art Thou, that type of stuff is sounding kind of bluegrass, kind of, or pre-bluegrass, kind of cornball stuff, fun stuff. I'm not going to listen to this every day, but I think I will be listening to it pretty occasionally in the time to come. The other thing, I was looking around Doc's through their, they've got shelves of their just, not newly released, but just because they buy used records and they put out new records too, but just in, I think they call it. I don't know. Shelves of it's just in of rock and roll, just in of punk, heavy metal, just in of soul, just in jazz, etc., etc. So I was looking through the just in stuff, and I flipped through and ran across this obscure little band you all might have heard of. I don't know. And it is on. The reason I bought it, I already have a couple of vinyl copies of Revolver. Actually, I should have got it out. I've got an original, I think it's an original from 1966 that I borrowed from my older brother some 30, 40 years ago and have yet to return. I hope he doesn't see this and ask for it back, but that was probably, he would have been in 66, probably 15 or so, and so quite a few of the Beatle albums that I got inherited, borrowed, stole, that he bought when they came out, and it's actually still in playable condition, though it's not in anywhere near mint condition. But why did I buy another copy of Revolver? Well, on white vinyl, I don't know if you can see that, but it's kind of a milky white. There's some gray and black strands of gray and black swirling around in there. On an Odeon label, it's in mono, says to be from Brazil. How authentic this is, I'm thinking probably not. The cover's really flimsy. The packaging is nice, but the cover's really flimsy. But I'm thinking it's a boot. One thing that looks kind of, some things like that, the copyright 1966 and just some of the things like that look kind of cheesy on it. The label, I don't know, looks fake to me. The typeset and everything. But it's cool. I like the label. I like the white vinyl. It's in mono, supposedly. That's what it says. And I played it. The vinyl's pretty thick there, and or pretty hefty, and sounds great. I played it a couple of times yesterday, and I played it this morning while I was doing stuff around the house, and was good to always good to revisit Revolver, because that's one of the Beatles and my favorite band, and so good stuff. But don't think it's real, but it's fun to have. They didn't have any other Beatle albums, unfortunately. Actually, fortunately for my wallet, I don't need to be spending money right now, and I dropped quite a bit of money in Doc's in the last month. So, so they just had Revolver. Would have been nice to get Pepper or the White Album on the mono if they had them, and the colored vinyl, but mono vinyl editions will be coming out soon enough. So that's what I got there at the record store. And then the other thing I got Friday in the mail, and I got this on CD because they don't have it on vinyl so far as I know. Dave's Picks, Grateful Dead Volume 6, which is February 1970 show at the Fox Theater in St. Louis, and a December 1969 show at the Fillmore in San Francisco. It's a 3-disc set. 1, 2, 3. There's a book in there about the and limited to 13,000 copies, of which I've got 7,077. I don't, if you care, but there's that. So and this fascination of mine with the Grateful Dead has caught me by surprise, because growing up I thought they were pretty damn dull, and didn't really care for them one way or the other. But a few years ago, when I got a new car and it had a Sirius XM radio in it, this Grateful Dead channel among the other thousands of channels on there, and I found myself listening to that occasionally. I don't listen to it on a daily basis or anything like that. Um, Soul Street, Little Stevens Underground Garage in the 60s are my main. But I would listen to it occasionally, and I found myself, oddly enough, enjoying them somewhat when I was in the mood. And so I picked up a few of their records. I didn't have any. Picked up their first album a few record store days ago that they released in mono. It's just called The Grateful Dead. And then the one I showed there of the rarities and oddities. And then last record store day, the Black Friday record store day, I picked up the live album from 1971. And I played that quite a bit, so I enjoy it. I don't completely understand why I suddenly enjoy them now when I didn't forever before, but there it is, and I guess I'm not complaining. I don't rate them class of 67 bands. I don't rate them up with Jefferson Airplane, Moby Grape, Doors, etc., etc. But I don't know. I guess that's part of getting old. Anyway, so 13,000 copies, and this just officially released, I think, Friday or maybe Thursday, but they started shipping them Friday. I got it on a pre-order, and they're sold out already. And so I don't, for some reason, I got these information about this in my email on the last couple of them, and the fifth one that came out, I think at the very beginning of the year. I think they do 4 a year of these things. The fifth one came out, and it said, got an email that said almost sold out, buy one if you want it. And I thought, well, I don't know, maybe I'll buy that. And next day I thought, well, yeah, I'll go ahead and buy that. And I went, and it was sold out already. So this one, when I got the pre-sale email a month or so ago, I went ahead and actually bought 2 of them. I've got another one that's over there, same thing. So I don't know, they sell out. In case you care about the Grateful Dead, buy them fast, I guess. And I have played this. I was listening. I got it at work because had it sent to work because it feels like I'm at work more than I'm at home. Anyway, so I was listening to that while I was working on stories on Friday, and then listened to it some more last night and this morning. Fun stuff. Well, that's all I got for now. I've got got a gift card from Amazon, so I ordered some stuff, books and all mainly, but I got some vinyl and 1 CD because it doesn't come out on vinyl, a series that I'm collecting. So those come in, I'll talk about that. And that's all I got for now, so thanks for watching. Hope y'all are having a good weekend, and we will talk to you soon. Be good.